Welcome to Famished for More, formerly known as Stroking It to Your Highest. If you are a first time listener, I would like to say thank you for stopping by, and for my returning listeners, I want to say thank you for holding it down for your girl as she returned back. It's been a long time, almost most of this year. I took time to fall back. After having a stroke, I've healed physically. It happened fast for me, and it was a blessing. But I didn't take all the time needed to heal myself for the journey that I had wanted to embark on. And when I started it started showing me the weaknesses and the things that I needed to work on and heal within myself, so I can come back and speak fully about where I want to go, like have an actual clear direction for what I want to talk about and where I want to go moving forward. Previously, it was all about the stroke, which in my time off and working on myself, I realized where I'm going requires inner work. The things I want materially requires inner work, spiritual work. And so I took most of this year off to work on those things and also start working on my material foundation to building a good, future or going towards that. The stroke actually helped always take me back to be grateful and grounded in this journey. And so I changed the name of the podcast to Famished for More. And Famished for More means starving, hungry for more. And I made this name about 7 years back. And I never knew. I knew I would have a purpose for it, but I didn't know. And I knew what I was using it for at the time was not going to be its final reason, destination for that name. Well, fast forward 7 years, I had the stroke. And when you have something like that sits you down, where you have to learn so much more about yourself in order to come out of that hole that you find yourself in. First it was, I don't know, I like to call it a mind effery. Mind fuckery. That's what I like to call it, because that's what it takes you on. You have to first realize this happened to you, and then you have to understand whatever your limits or abilities are, or the lack of, and how to deal with that. So that is full force. It's the front of your to-do list, because that's the first thing, that they're pushing on you too, is to work on getting your abilities back as soon as possible, so the brain can, kick into gear and continue to fire off new neurons for you, create new pathways. And the end, being able to move, talk, write, etc., etc. I had to learn how to write again. My memory was crazy. I had to learn a lot of things, or just be reminded of them. And then once I was reminded of them, make it a effort to remember them. I would remember, Bible verses and things of that nature, just to test my memory. And then as it got stronger, I would, do more. As it got better, it just got better. And my memory would start to come back. So the things that it was hard to remember or to think of at the beginning, as I worked on that, it came right back, And so I'm grateful for that. But, rushing to, get back walking, getting my hands back working, and, my sight went weak at first. So working on me physically, it kind of like put the emotional part of dealing with the situation to the back burner. So that's where I was when I began this podcast. I had made it out of that first year and a half or so of physically coming back from that. And I thought I had dealt with the loss that also occurred with that, meaning like the relationship losses and the financial loss and career loss, transportation loss. I went through all of that at the same time. And I thought I had went through that, but as I went to exploring what direction I want to go with this podcast and just be authentic, I found I was not being authentic to myself. I was finding all of these unhealed pockets, and I felt like it was necessary for me to go into hermit mode, go into hibernation, and work on myself and take notes and just dissect who I am. Because when I come back, I want to come back authentic, more healed, because you're never done healing, but way more healed than I was prior. And with the direction and clarity, when you're unsure yourself, if you're like, how can you lead or talk about something you're unsure or uneasy about even speaking on? So you have to get through those hurdles, and that's what I did. Healing is an internal job. You definitely cannot look for anybody on the outside of you to heal you. They can assist, but you have to initiate the start from within. And that is where I was and am right now. And so with healing myself, I began to love myself more. A lot of self-love start pouring into myself, start forgiving myself for a lot of mistakes I made, or what I assumed were mistakes at the time. Also for not having boundaries with myself and with others for years, just realizing, taking the blame away from everybody and placing it on me, because that really what it requires, accountability. And at first when I had the stroke, it was a lot of, why is this happening to me? And I'm so good to people, and I don't do this and I don't do that. And I don't deserve this, and all of this, everything is happening to me. And me sitting down, it made me realize everything was happening for me. And also, a lot of things happened because I allowed them to happen, or because I didn't heal, and I pocketed it, put it in the back pocket and moved on instead of healing or addressing situations. And so when you do those things and you have no release, and you do it over time, over years, over decades, it's a lot of buildup. And so it's buildup there. When you go to working on yourself, you go to finding the buildup in the pockets, in places you didn't know exist, and the memories that you tucked away that you don't even remember because you're still moving forward and you're not dealing with it. So it's kind of like you block them out. When you go into this self-love, self-forgiving, you realize it's okay to make these mistakes, because life goes on, and it was not anything to bring me down. It was a lesson for me to learn from, or a blessing that catapulted me forward. And then it made me be more grateful, And then once I started getting out of that funk of, I don't know what it was just like a gray cloud, where some days I was kind of shining bright, not I say brightly, and then back gray. not dark. I wasn't going dark again, but I was going gray. And it's because I was still having these residual things that was coming up. And actually releasing things, releasing situations, releasing people, releasing just the idea that I had of my life, and just mourning the people that I lost that I tend to not mourn at that time. Just a lot of the things that I feel like the stroke took me out of regular rotation or circulation of life amongst others and stuff, and put me in this hibernation mode so I can deal with the unhealed and untapped hurt or confusions about things, because clarity comes. So wherever when you're confused about things from the past, as you relive it with new eyes and more wisdom, you actually look at the situation differently, and you take accountability. I take accountability for a lot of situations that I found I was angry about in the past, and that relieved me of so much that I didn't even know I was holding on to. And so when that started happening, I started feeling a lot better about myself, and started to visualize again and dream again and want again, and not feel bad about the things that I want, because now I know I'm worthy of them, I deserve them, and I'm going to do what I need to do to get them. And so I said, okay, now let's handle the material. When I had the stroke, I lost both my jobs. I maxed out my credit cards. My son was hit in my vehicle, and that was total. And so I was at ground zero. So I said, what can I do now? Where I'm at? There's a lot that was running through my head, but it's like you got to narrow down to what you have control over. It's something I learned too, because I'm a worrier, was a worrier, and I was a control freak. And in this process, I learned to let go control, because I had no control over what happened to me and the circumstances that happened after that. I just had to go with the flow and let God and my ancestors, the universe, take care of me. And it did just that. And with each situation and conflict that arose from those lacks, I watched miracles happen in my life that I didn't go without. I had more than enough. I was super blessed, and I am super blessed. And so when you walk with that, you kind of get this, you do get this feeling you ask and it is given. You call it upon yourself, you believe in it, you work towards it, it is yours. And so the more you build that belief inside of yourself, the quicker the flame starts to grow inside you. So you could be sitting down just, going from planning. It'll start with planning in a book. Well, started with me, with planning, writing down. And then the flame keeps growing, and then action starts taking place. And so with me, I knew, okay, where I'm at in this situation, something has to be done. But I can do it without stressing about the things that I can't handle, which was finances. I couldn't make no big leaps with that, because everything that I got financially, I put it towards the household. I always got priority. So credit, I had to build my credit. And I did just that in the time that I've been away. So within 5 to 6 months of that time, I have been working, learning. I've been studying and learning and attacking. And I have changed my credit situation completely around. And that's when the name came in. Famished for more. It came back to me. Because when I got the name and looked it up and found out the meaning and all of that, hungry for more. That's always was the base meaning, was hungry for more. And that's how I felt. I felt I'm hungry for more. I felt like this name is universal. You could be hungry for whatever it is that you want in life, but are you hungry for more? That's what we stand for, famished for more. And so when I come now, I have a clear vision of what I'm bringing to Famished for More. The things that I'm learning, the information, whether I'm using it at the moment or I have used it, I'm bringing it to share with those who may not know. These things, these mindset shifts, it changed the game so far and have so much yet to go. But I feel so free, at peace, and happy with where I'm headed. I know that it doesn't take years to get yourself out of a sticky or webby situation where you feel like you're in a cobweb. You can get out of that. You just have to apply yourself. But I didn't get to this point by just saying, I need to apply myself. No, I had to do some inner work. And so inner work will get you to where you want to be. Because with the inner work comes growth. And with the growth comes confidence. And with the confidence comes action. And so that's what brought me back here. That's what brought me to this podcast, because I want to add to the brand. And this is helping. I know that everything I got now, as far as all of the lessons that I've received, it is because of others sharing. In a time where I didn't have financial money, all the information that I got and all the teachings and the rooms that I sat in and the lives that I sat in and the books that I was referred to read and study, those come from free resources of people getting on their podcasts, getting on their TikToks, getting on their YouTubes, and sharing this information. The information is definitely out there for you to get. And it's been out there, but I feel like it's a mindset shift that has to change within self to even want to attack these things, for it to even become a focus in your peripheral. Because I feel like, it's just like when you see a car, you want a car. You don't see that car at all until you decide this is the car I want, and now you see the car everywhere. It's the same when you decide you want to learn or change your life in a certain situation, or you want to learn something and add it to your life. It's going to start popping up like the algorithm of the world will start showing it in your life to see if you really do want to pursue it, or just to keep reminding you of something that you said you wanted. And so it's the same that happened to me when I decided, I'm going to decide to search everything about credit, get into these rooms, sit in these lives, read these books they're referring, doing my research, learning the law, learning, what is right and what is wrong, what I can fight, what I can't fight on my own without having to pay anybody. And I was knocking off accounts left and right. And I watched my score go up 100 plus points in less than 5 months. So I know for a fact, when I shifted my mindset and actually did the inner work to believe and to shed the guilt and the blockages that was within, I attacked it and made it happen. And I literally can log in and see the numbers that I used to dream I could have. And I have them now without a dime. I did it without a dime. I did it with belief in myself, hard work. Well, not really hard work. I received it. I just went where I was guided. I opened my phone, I put in what I want to search for, and I would scroll through, and whoever felt good for me, I tuned in, I tapped in, I researched, and I applied the knowledge. And in the past, I would get analysis paralysis. I would get all the information needed and still sit on it. I would tell everybody else about it, be the teacher of the information, but this round, is definitely a different, it's just a different way of approaching things. And it wouldn't have happened had I not sat my butt down and did the inner work to match the physical achievements that I achieved from having that stroke. But I had to have that inner to match the outer so I can start working on me completely and working towards that person I see my higher self being. And it takes actually applying and believing in yourself, and I swear it starts from within. No outer source, no outer nothing will even matter until you start believing yourself. The books I was reading, I've read books for the last 10 plus years of self-development. None of that shit made sense until I started really working on myself and going through shit in life where I had to go back to self and understand that's where the power lies. So that is it for my